Alright, hello, Aquila Cat here. I'm going to try and get through a few of these today because I'm really far behind and I really want to actually play these and get them over with and know what's going on. So, we already did Sarava, so I'm now going to move on to Amisia Erdehn. At least I hope that's how it's pronounced. Lo, what light through yonder weirdly organic architecture breaks? A small figure approaches. Oh, oh my gosh. You are So far, you've swallowed quite a few insults in regards to your looks and intelligence level. You aren't really the type to let the shallow opinions of others get you down, but it's been kind of a rough day. You brace yourself. Cute! Oh, oh! She gives you a sweet, sincere smile. I've never seen anything like you. It's given me all sorts of new ideas. Boy, do you hope some of those ideas are about friendship. Now that you've got a taste of it, you are hungry for more. You take a stumbling step forward, and your ribs remind you that although the potential of camaraderie is enough to improve your mental health, it can't cure acute injuries. Oh, you don't look so good. Come inside. I've been looking for new contributors. Contributors? Could she mean friendship contributors? No, that's dumb. Maybe she runs some sort of alien newspaper and she wants you on staff. She looks a little young for that, but what the heck do you know about alien management hierarchy? You follow her to a nearby building, and now that you're looking up from your ravenous hunt for companionship, you notice that you've wandered into kind of an upscale part of town. There's a lot less garbage and people collapsed in the street. You see one of those spiky robot things, but it's washing a window instead of shooting a laser at a group of children. If that's not high class, you don't know what is. Before you can follow her inside, she turns around in the threshold, blocking your way. Real quick, you don't happen to be an artist, do you? Artistry? Well, as a matter of fact. Tell her, yeah, it isn't exactly your whole deal, but you've been known to dabble. Tell her, no, you've never had much of a knack for it. Um, no, we're going for camaraderie. So, yeah, let's say we have our hobby too. Oh, I see how it is. Well, you aren't going to snake rodent any trade secrets out of me. Goodbye. Oh, well, you completely blew it. Okay, now we know what not to choose. Amnesia, let's go. Bum 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 bum. Dum bum 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 bum. Da 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 da. Well, as a matter of fact, no, I've never had much of a knack for it. Oh, good. Friendships between artists can be so fraught. Much better to just keep things between artists and art appreciators. That way no one can get jealous. The girl's smile widens even further and you feel an unbelievable rush of joy. Have you finally found someone who isn't a total fucking maniac? Maybe. And she brought up friendship without you having to mention it at all. It puts a spring in your step, or as much of a spring as possible with a broken arm and misaligned torso. So, not much spring at all. Amnesia leads you into an elevator with buttons labeled in spiky letters that make absolutely no sense to you. You realize that probably nothing is ever going to make sense to you again. That's okay. Your hierarchy of needs has adjusted recently. Your new friend, you are jumping the gun with this descriptor, but you are feeling seriously good about this encounter, stands in the corner of the elevator, wringing her claws. I wish I'd known I was going to have company. I would have cleaned up a little. It's been a while since I've met anyone new. You assure her that whatever disaster her house is, it can't be any worse than some other places you've seen here. Although you kind of get what she means. She's wearing an artist's smock that's covered in splashes of paint. Is it paint? Or... Actually, it doesn't really look like paint, but it couldn't be anything else, could it? It's every color of the rainbow. Oh, you sweet summer child, how little you know. The elevator door slides open and you step into a space that you are relieved to find is totally recognizable. A table overflows with messy palettes and brushes, cloudy jars of water, and sponges. Several easels stand beside the windows to catch the light of the two moons, and a number of canvases lean against the wall, turned so you can't see what's on them. First things first. Amnesia brings you over to a wall screen that looks way more high-tech than anything you have on your now-defunct spaceship, tapping away at a series of unreadable symbols. She then indicates you should take off your sling. Here, go ahead and stick it in there. She seems to want you to put your injured arm into a large hole in the wall, which you do because you are sure your new friend has your best interests at heart. I mean, she might be helping by completely removing the arm and then using my blood as paint. The hole shrinks down like a blood pressure cuff, sending bolts of agony through you. You want to yank your arm back out, but you don't. Even if it's broken, you still like having it attached to you. Instead, you shout a lot and thrash your other limbs around. Like you do. Look, that she doesn't even look concerned right now. Just looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, what are you doing? Calm down, you big wriggler. It's like you've never seen a medicalizer before. Well, actually, I haven't. If you don't stop moving, it won't work. Tears spill down your cheeks, but you force yourself still. You'll bear the pain. You'll do it for your friend. She's looking at you so hopefully, and she's so delicate and pretty, almost angelic. You look at her face and tell yourself it's all going to be okay. Finally, the hole releases you and you pull your arm back out to find it completely healed. You can move your fingers. It doesn't even hurt anymore. Hey, things are looking up. They are looking up. I expected her to use my blood as paint. Good job, Amisia. Thank you. See? I told you. This is great. You are overwhelmed with the urge to celebrate. I am going to get excited and dance my new friend around the room. You try to resist the urge to celebrate. You fail to resist the urge. You take Amisia by her tiny hands and twirl her around the studio. Or you try to. You forgot about your busted ribs. You sure are doing that a lot. You let go of Amisia and go careening into one of the tables. Thankfully not the one covered in art supplies. You hit the corner and go down onto your already incredibly sore ass. This is what you get for acting like a huge fucking tool in front of your new friend. Are you okay? Was that some sort of ritualistic rite of healing I've never heard of before? Sure. Yes, it absolutely was. You shrug against the floor. Amisia leans down and picks you up in a bridal carry, despite the fact that she's about half your size. It makes your ribs hurt, but what doesn't nowadays? Mood. Amisia lays you down on a weird lumpy couch. Are you sure you're okay? You look a little... She trails off to nothing. She's looking at your left arm, which you have draped over yourself awkwardly to sort of try to hold your torso together. That color. At first you think she means the color of your skin, which is different than her light gray. Then you think she means the truly fantastic buffet of bruises you got going on. But then you realize that in your prancing idiocy you've managed to scrape up the inside of your arm. Blood oozes sluggishly from the wound. Amisia dredges a finger through it. You're half expecting her to put it in her mouth and for this to become a whole cannibal situation. Well, since you aren't the same species, it wouldn't really be cannibalism, but still, no thanks. Instead, Amisia just holds her finger up, the drop of blood trembling on the tip. This color! I've never seen anything like it. She dashes off to one of her tables, pulling over a sketchbook and dragging her finger down it. Your blood paints a rusty line down the center. She lets out a little squeak of excitement. This is amazing! What, red? Not red. There's a million dirty little rusties swarming all over this city. I'm drowning in red. This is crimson. It's incredible. How does she know what the color crimson is if she's never seen it? Oh well. You must be some sort of mutant. No, not a mutant at all. Please don't kill me. You're really lucky I found you instead of one of the drones. Oh, okay, good. You're not going to kill me. Yay. Lucky? You? Ha. Yes, very lucky. The luckiest. Though your arm is healed and you're out of whatever doubtlessly weird weather happens on this planet, maybe Amisia's right. Maybe you are lucky. You close your eyes and try to breathe. Zen yourself out. Really center yourself in your own body and all of that garbage. Then you open your eyes and wow, you sure aren't centered anymore. In fact, you roll completely to the left as you try to get away from Amisia, who is back and standing over you with a gigantic axe. Watch out! Amisia grabs you, drags you back up onto the couch, and plants her hand on your solar plexus, effectively pinning you down. You'll hurt yourself if you keep flopping around like a beach blubber beast. You want to be friends, don't you? You want to help me with my artistic aspirations, right? You get the feeling that she might be trying to manipulate you. Just the tiniest little suspicion. It's possible Amisia has recognized your intense craving for companionship and is trying to exploit it. You don't like being suspicious of a new friend, but that is a pretty big axe. I don't know what's got you so worried. I just want to show you my axe. Oh, of course. Makes sense. It is a really nice axe. You hold out your hand for it, but of course it is too heavy for you, and your hands are all sweaty and you fumble it. Fumble the really sharp weapon. Amisia tries to catch it before it's too late, and somehow in all the wriggly struggle you end up getting cut. Like, very cut. Across both your wrists. In fact, you don't think she could have aimed even better if she'd been trying. Oh. Oh dear. Hard agree. Don't struggle. You'll only hurt yourself more, silly. Whoa. I think I might be losing a bit too much blood. Just possibly. You don't want that, do you? No, you definitely don't want that, not after what a butterfingers you've proven to be. Amisia gets up to put the axe down, and you kind of lose track of her for a little while. You're bleeding all over her couch, and everything around you starts to go shiny and unreal. She comes back with a couple little jars that she uses to catch your blood. That's a good idea. You sure are making a mess. You wonder if they are specifically blood jars. They look like jam jars. Alien jam. Space jam. Come on and slam, and welcome to the jam. God, you love that movie. I really do. It's been so long since you've seen it. Definitely the best PG movie about basketball. I mean, I don't know. I'd say Space Jam kind of ties with High School Musical. Way better than the one with the dog and the clown. What one's that? The dog and the clown? I don't know. Do they even have basketball here? You ask Amisia. She just shushes you and brushes your hair back off your forehead. She keeps smiling and saying comforting things, and yet not doing anything to stop the bleeding. I'm dying. God, she's such a good friend. Before too long, you do what it's honestly a goddamn shock you haven't done before now. You pass out. When you come to, you are propped up against the wall in a weird way that you wouldn't love even if you weren't an invalid, and both of your arms are jammed in the hole in the wall. The med hole, the glory hole of well-being. Oh my gosh. The magic sphincter. You grunt and pull your arms back out. They're healed. The cuts on your wrists are just two faded pink lines. You take a step away from the wall and immediately hit the ground. You may not be actively dying anymore, but you did just lose like half of the blood in your body. Gosh, you're tired. A little giggle makes you turn around, or roll over, since you are still on the floor and probably not getting up anytime soon. It's fine. You've met worse floors in your life. I mean, this is better than the dungeon floor. Amisia is sitting at one of her easels, her hair pulled back beneath a scarf and little round glasses perched on her nose. Aw, I wish they'd showed a picture of her in the scarf. I bet that'd be really cute. A jar of your blood sits next to her, and as you watch, she dips the brush in. I'm glad you're awake. I was a little worried I'd actually killed you back there. She laughs and you laugh along with her. It's very funny. Actually, everything's funny right now. It's probably the blood loss. You ask her what she's painting. You, of course. You inspired me. Well, right now it just looks like a bunch of red squiggles and some lines. But she only just got started. She's warming up. She sits there on her stool, looking at her palette and chewing on her lip thoughtfully. She looks somewhat nervous. Actually, I want to show you something. Something I've never shown anyone else. She leaps up from her stool and crosses the studio. You roll to your other side to keep her in your line of sight. You really hope she isn't getting another Space Jam jar. She starts turning around the canvases one by one. They are all blank, except for one, which has a little... Wait, no, that's just a shadow. Every single one of them is blank. You aren't sure you understand. You ask her if these are all just new canvases that she has not gotten the chance to paint on yet. Amisia sighs. No, I've had them for forever. I'm just not a real painter. Oh no! Honey! You're an awesome painter. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Just grab some blood paint and just throw it against the canvas. It's fine. There, I said it. She buries her face in her hands, talking from between her fingers. I'm really good at all the other parts. The materials and the studio. I even make all my own paints. I just can never do the actual sitting down and doing art part. She looks so despondent. You wish you could do something, but you don't really know that much about art, and you probably can't stand up yet. You tell her that she looks like she's moving in the right direction, at least. You don't even have a studio, or any brushes or stuff like that. Of course, you have no aspirations to being a painter, but you leave that part out. That's just it. I feel inspired for the first time ever. I think it has to be your messed up, disgusting mutant blood. You're welcome. There's really no other explanation. She takes the knee beside you, picking up one of your limp hands with hers. They're cold, like she's been pressing them to a glass window in winter. Usually I just finish off my contributors quickly. I don't have time to deal with a bunch of injured lowbloods moaning around my studio. But I couldn't just use your blood up all at once. You're far too special for that. Thanks? You gaze at Amisia. A mist has descended over your vision, and it isn't even the mist of imminent death. I have to keep this precious blood safe. I think you might be my muse. You will never escape. Is that's good? Good or bad? I don't know. What happens if we go back and... Alright, let's give this a shot. Be chill about it. You thank Amisia profusely, but you manage to keep it to the strictly verbal sort. Medicalizers are great. This part of the city is great. You really need to get more rich friends. You tell her this, throwing in a compliment of her studio while you're at it. See, this friendship stuff is easy. I'm glad you feel that way. You're obviously really strange and under-socialized. I mean, at least under-socialized to the troll culture, sure. But you don't seem to be a complete cultural idiot. Plus, I think it's really endearing how helpless and trusting you are. You laugh, slightly unnerved. You want to take that as a compliment, but after a recent encounter with another girl in blue... Well, it all ended up okay. And Amisia is so nice and friendly, and she keeps calling you cute, which you think is pretty generous of her considering what a disgusting mess you are at this point. Speaking of low bloods, what's your blood color? Just out of curiosity. Blood color? You aren't really sure what she's talking about, but red? You tell her it's red. She looks a little disappointed. Oh dear, I'm gonna die. I've got plenty of burgundy. Oh well, good thing I have a delivery coming soon. Hey, do you think you can help me set a few things up before they get here? They? Visitors? As in plural? As in multiple potential friends? Oh, hell yes. You are all over that, especially considering your newly healed arm. You are anxious to display all the simple motor functions you can perform. Amisia gives you another radiant smile. You live for those smiles, man. They are just so full of the glowing nectar of bromance. Perfect. Let's do this. Work always goes faster with two pairs of hands, after all. Yes, absolutely it does. And even if by that she seems to mean her hands are pointing while she tells you where to put things, you're totally fine with that. Your ribs are still kind of killing you, but you swallow down the pain. You're getting pretty good at that. Too bad you can't stick your whole torso into that magical science fiction hole in the wall. Well, maybe you could, but not right now. Right now you've got a friend to help. Amisia instructs you to clear all the furniture to the edges of the room and lay down a big purple tarp. Apparently tarps aren't blue on this planet. Amisia answers her phone and then buzzes open the apartment door. She runs over to the elevator with a squeal of delight. They're here! Sorry I'm getting so giggly about this. It's just been a while since I've had any new paints. Wait, paints? That's what's coming? Now that you think about it, there is something pretty crucial missing from this whole artist aesthetic she's got going on here. There aren't any paints. No tubes dribbling color or pots with their tops left partially unscrewed. There aren't even any pencils. The elevator opens and two trolls come in. They have pretty similar shaped horns and are almost the exact same height. Brothers? Do trolls have brothers? From their uniforms and the douchey, swaggering way they walk, you get the idea that they are some sort of law enforcement. That and the third troll in handcuffs they are dragging between them. Thank you, guys. You always bring me the best materials. They don't say anything. They just bring the third troll to the center of the tarp and force them into a kneeling position. Then they bow to Amisia and leave the way they came. Oh, punishments and Alternia sure are interesting. This doesn't look great. Even before Amisia runs out of the room and comes back in with an axe the size of her whole body, you are not loving this. The troll on the tarp trembles and bites back a sob, but they don't say anything or try to run. She isn't really going to do what it looks like, is she? You can't bring yourself to believe that this cute little alien girl is going to straight up axe murder a dude right in front of you, presumably to finger paint with their blood. You stammer something to this effect. Amisia laughs. Well, I don't use my fingers. I'm not a fucking animal. Hey, is that a dig at Nepeta and some of those other olive bloods? Heck you. The olive bloods are my favorite. She considers you for a few moments, tapping a claw against her mouth. I know. You can help me. I only ever let one person help with my work, and she's out of town right now. But you and I have a connection. You feel it too, right? You do. God, you do. You've been feeling it so much lately for everyone you meet. You thought you had maybe come across someone who would readily accept your platonic longings without putting you through the ringer first. You do want to help me, don't you? You do. You want that more than anything. Amisha looks at you solemnly. Why don't you do the honors? She holds out her axe. I wouldn't offer this to just anyone, but I can tell how special you are. You're trembling. The troll on the tarp is also trembling, but unlike you, they seem to have accepted their fate. Slowly, inevitably, you hold out your hand for the axe. Amisia gives it to you with a smile. God damn it, you forgot about your broken ribs. And that you're a human and can't just pick up gigantic fucking axes with one hand. You drop it and it bounces away from you, like way more than you think an axe probably should bounce. You look up at Amisia from where you are doubled over with pain and shame. She laughs and scampers over to retrieve the axe, once again swinging it up without any signs of strain. She doesn't even have any visible muscles. What is this girl made out of? How silly of me. You seem so culturally advanced that for a second I forgot about your natural inferiority. Here, I'll give you a second chance. You nod. Yes, please. A second chance that does not include committing gruesome murder. Usually I just use chains, but I've got a better idea. Oh, oh God, you get what she wants you to do. You hesitate, and Amisia's smile gets even sweeter. Sweet like poison. Oh? You don't want to help me? The tarp crinkles under you as you kneel. You grasp at the troll's shoulders and mumble an apology. They continue to say nothing. Amisia is sharpening her axe, which already looks pretty damn sharp. Hold on tight. You try. You really do. The problem is, you try to hold on tight, but at the same time you try to drag the troll out of the way, some buried instinct to try and preserve life rising up inside you. You're weak and injured, though, so all you end up doing is just flopping both of you a little to the side. Instead of coming down on the neck in a clean slice, Amisia's axe glances off the troll's collarbone, mortally wounding them instead of killing them outright. Ooh, olive blood. And now you know why they have not been begging for their life. They don't have a tongue, so they can't beg, but they sure can yell, and thrash, and bleed olive green alien blood all over you and the tarp. God, there's so much blood, it's just spurting everywhere. Jesus Christ, you are such an idiot. Why couldn't you just commit? Uh-oh, she does not look happy. Now you're covered in dying alien, and so is everything else. Amisia, the work table, and most direly, the canvas is leaning against the wall. Amisia takes one look at them and lets out a wail of rage. I can't believe this. I let you into my hive, into my life. I was planning to let you into my pusher. I thought you were a refined sophisticate, but now I see you're just a Philistine. She gives you a shove toward the elevator. Your ribs are screaming, and so is the bleeding troll. You try to babble an explanation. Forget it. I don't want to hear your excuses. Is it Chahoot or Kahoot? I'm going to say Kahoot was right. If you want someone killed, you have to kill them yourselves. You ride the elevator back down, kneeling in a pool of blood and failure. Terrible at murder. I kind of consider that a win. I mean, I'm free. I'm not stuck there this time. Okay. So that's Amnesia. And I'm going to move on to the next one shortly after I get something to drink because I'm really dehydrated. All right. Hold up for the next one. Aquila Cat out. Bye.